You gonna do a live too? Mosh? You gonna do a live? Whoa. Alright. I don't know what happened to the last video. It got interrupted. Oh, Pharaoh's gone now. It's just come in like a whirlwind, that cat. He comes in and sticks his tail everywhere. Has a meow. Knocks all the pens and the highlighters and all the staples off the table. G'day Steve, how are you, mate? How are this? So let me see if I can fix up this camera. It was nice and clear a second ago. And then the cat came in, Pharaoh came in and destroyed the clarity. Unbelievable. It was clear as a bell. There we go. Hey Saska, thanks for your beautiful message the other day. Feeling better than I was a couple of days ago. You right, mate? You got something to say? Come and say it. Come here. Come and tell everybody. Come on. Yeah, no, he's gone quiet. G'day, Paul. How are you, mate? Both Pauls. G'day, Paul and Paul. I just wanted to do a little video on some of my philosophical views around death or transmutation and relationships, you know, unions between man and woman. And that theory that, you know, you hear in these spiritual communities that nothing exists, nothing's real, you know, and they say all this sort of jargon. And I'm going to get into that as well. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, feeling better, mate. Feeling better than the other day. But, g'day, Kim. You know, philosophy. I've been doing a bit of research as well on something really interesting, which I'll do another video on shortly. Yeah, something really interesting. Anyway, so this one's called Fear and Death Controls the Lust. And it's death is a word, right? It's a word made up of characters cast onto paper and then cast into the minds of humankind by spelling in order to trick you into believing that it is the end of all. This traps the thought process, which is attached and tied to the chi, the energy, the spirit, right? All that that we know exists that can't be measured, right? So it traps the thought process and the chi and the energy of man, and it traps it into a box, like, for instance, a cross, right? A cross. If you take a cross and, you know, you make it into even boxes, it actually makes a box. And that box closes in and encapsulates consciousness, right? It limits consciousness, right? This box, this fear limits consciousness, limits the spirit, limits the energy field, limits the thought processes, right? And when it's limited, that means it can't expand or escape, yeah, from that box. It can't see a way out of it, right? And I'm talking about this because everything that the whole control system is based on fear. Fear of a virus. Fear of someone running into you with their car. Fear of whatever the fear is, right? Fear of the police, right? That are supposed to be protecting you, but you should fear them, right? Because they're protecting you, right? Fear of anything is used to control and manipulate the mind of humankind or mankind and confine it into a box, just like religion, right? Especially religion that is, symbolized by that cross, which if you break it down into even boxes, just draw a few lines on it, you'll see it folds up into a box, right? That's what it is. It's a box for consciousness. Okay? And as in this life, so in the next life. So the box is like a soul trap as well. Yeah. So those souls will continue to incarnate in that box and that system, so long as the mind in the physical life can't see beyond that. If the mind can't see that it can travel to the stars in an instant, and that it believes it's bound by this earthly body, and it fears shedding of the earthly body, right? Which, by the way, is a direction of Creator and creation itself, that all things that live must die and transmutate. Yeah, but they use these words like death to strike fear into people, so those people will surrender all their rights and they'll give everything away just to stay safe, just in case something would happen and in case they might die, right? They've been taught and conditioned to hold on to everything as tightly as possible, right? The thought of letting go of something is too much for some people, right? But a conscious being sees beyond the spellings cast by other men, out into the infinite reality placed in front of him by creation. The reality that creation, being a perfect balance of symbiotic relationships between all matter, the reality that creation dictates by its very essence and foundational blueprint that all life is in a constant state of transmutation, a constant flux, perpetual cycles, day and night, hot and cold, life and death. The one who sees and knows his place is spiritually free from the binds of any place. He knows the stars are not so far, but he knows better than to try and get there by car. I hope that made sense. Mum says she can't understand the fear of death, but she does understand the fear of being without a loved one. Yeah, so I mean, And when we mourn and when we grieve the loss of a loved one, you know, I don't think that people are really grieving the fact that that person died or that person's transitioned. They're not grieving for that person. They're grieving from a place of self because they have lost something, right? That's why you see everyone and they put out there that their friends died or someone's died and they get all this sympathy, right? It's because it's the selfishness in us, and not selfish in a bad way, but it's we're grieving the loss that we're experiencing. We're not grieving the death of that person. We're not grieving because that person's transitioned over. Most people go, oh, well, they're blessed, you know, they're at peace and they're in this, you know, they're finally, you know, whatever. No one grieves that, oh, that poor person died. No one ever says that. They grieve for themselves, for the loss that they are feeling, right? That's where the grief comes from. I won't be able to speak to that person. At least that's what they believe. Where in actual fact you can speak to them while they're alive or dead, whether they're in front of you or you're on the phone or not. Yeah, telepathically, yeah. And that connection is always there. They're alive or dead. So if you've got unresolved things that you never got to say to someone, you can sit there. You can light a candle for them. You can write it down and then speak it, and they will hear it. And they'll make it known as well, you know. Usually something will happen that will, and you'll just know that person's communicating back to you, right? Go through some of these comments. Yeah, the cat knows. G'day, Paul. Another Paul. We've got a few Pauls on today. I was talking to another Paul on the weekend. Paul's everywhere. I don't know what Paul's role was in the Bible, but there's Paul's everywhere at the moment. Hey, Pharaoh, do you want to come and say hello again while we're in a bit of an intermission? Oh, he's in the bedroom now. He's not happy. I'm looking at getting him a girlfriend. So I've got one lined up. I'm just trying to put together to see if Dad can help me out again. I think once he gets a girlfriend, he'll be a lot more settled and he won't be straying so far. And, you know, because he went for a walk for a few days again. They came back a couple of days ago. And, I got a message and he was over at someone else's house trying to get in to, you know, make friends with their female cat and all that. And their male cat didn't like that, you know, because I think Pharaoh was kind of encroaching on his territory a bit. And that's what males are like, right? They don't like the other males coming in and encroaching on their territory and messing with their symbiotic relationships, right? Someone said everybody needs love, and we're going to get into that. Exactly right, Paul. Everybody needs love. Love is the energetic spark that gives us life, that ignites our spirit, yeah, ignites our energy field. And I've written a little bit down to talk about that, and we'll go into it right now. Thanks, Paul. Tariq says Paul killed the Christians, then found the Spirit of Christ and did a 180. Interesting. I think there's different types of Christians. Just before we go into the love and the energetic side of things, I think there's different. You've got people that call themselves Christians, and then you've got people that live by the principles of Christians who don't even classify themselves as Christians. So you've got principles and Christian principles that most people who call themselves Christians don't actually follow or abide by. And then you've got people who aren't Christians or aren't religious or don't identify with any particular religion, but live by the principles of Christianity. You know, it's pretty interesting, but everything in this world sort of is upside down out there. Not at the Ark here, but, you know, not everything out there, but a lot of things. All right. The next little speech, philosophy thing. Fear of love cages the dove. Yeah, it thwarts and suppresses peace, right? Because when we don't have love, we don't have peace, because we're designed, right? Man, woman, positive, negative. Yeah, just like the electrical circuit, yeah? Positive and negative creates the spark. Yeah. Man, positive, woman, negative, together creates the spark, which creates the child. It births the spark, it births the energy, yep, into reality, right? Because I saw a post, and this is what got me thinking about it. I saw someone put a post online saying that women should be happy, and they shouldn't look for a man to be happy. They should be happy before, they find a relationship. And I sort of thought about it, and I've seen that comment and that sort of theory a lot, But in reality, like, a woman by herself can't create a child, which she was put here to do. That's why creation gave her a womb, right? So she could grow life inside her, right? That's why creation, yeah, the intelligence of creation. I don't think anyone's going to try and overrule and outsmart the intelligence of creation. I don't think there's anyone who really even knows or fully comprehends how their own body works, let alone their own brain, yeah, or their own organs, let alone they're going to try and outsmart creation, right, or the creator. So the notion that people should just be happy without a partner can work for a little bit, right? But it's incomplete. The natural cycle, the nature in its essence, as being just a man or just a woman by yourself, the circuit is incomplete. And when you're incomplete, you can't be truly happy, right? Or maybe you can. Maybe you're an anomaly. Yep. But in a I don't know what the word would be. When it comes to completion, right? We've got to complete the circuit to create the spark, to create life in the way that we were designed by Creator. So we are not designed to be alone. That's a trap that only fools condone. To go against creation's will is the epitome of being ill. Being ill. And then we're going to go into being ill, right? Karma. Not being in alignment and symbiosis with creation, with yourself, right? And this brings me to another one of those spiritual things that the New Age community, or probably I don't even know what age they're in or what dimension they're in, but they come up with these things, and I disagree with one of the things they say, that everything's just an illusion and nothing's real and nothing matters, and it's all a video game, and it's all just an illusion, right? They've convinced themselves that nothing's real. And again, I take it back to creation and creator. And unless you know every single aspect of your body, let alone the world and everything in it, then you're not in a position to question the setup, that creation and creator, that divine architect has blessed you to be a part of. You're not really in a position to question that, right? Or to try and overrule that, in my opinion. And I'm sure I've done it many times. But what when they say nothing is real, it's all an illusion, is a spiritual myth which creates apathetic confusion. Right? Try run head first into a brick wall, and your body and mind will reveal it all. That creation set you up to learn your place. Consequences are real. It doesn't require any faith. To refute and confuse the physical system that's given is to spit in the face of the Creator's wisdom. And if you don't fully know how you were created, best not try to overrule, for natural law can't be debated. Like those who pray for cancer to go away, when it is simply karma having its way. So I just wanted to sort of bring a little bit of my views around some of these things that people say. I think things are very important in the physical realm. I think we're put here to learn, and that's why we're given a body. That's why we're set up to feel things, and that's why when we feel uncomfortable in situations, or we feel hurt or pain, whether it's emotional or physical, right? That's the creator. That's creation. Yeah, that's how it set us up. Set us all up like that. Interestingly enough, it's set us up to learn in this physical body, right? In my opinion. So, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Saska says, exactly, loving yourself and being enough is the way to create better relationships with yourself and others. Yeah, and loving yourself, I guess that includes putting yourself in positions that feed your soul, right? I was complaining the other day and saying how I hate being here and all that stuff in this place. And the reason for that is because I'm so far away from the beach, and my soul is attached to the water. It's attached to the ocean. It's attached to the waves. My spirit, my body is attached to that. And not everyone's is, but mine is. So for me, being away from that is like being away from a loved one, right? Someone that you really miss and care for. That's what it's like for me. I miss the beach more than anybody or anything else, right? That's it for me. But I guess so, coming back to loving ourselves and respecting ourselves, that also includes us taking the time and putting the energy into creating the environment that feeds and nourishes our soul, So that's what I'm going to do for a bit. Again, I'm going to take some time and do the things that I need to do, whether it be whatever that may entail, so that I can get myself to a place that feeds my soul. I don't need, I don't need cars. I don't need a fancy house. I don't need, I don't need all this stuff. Just need to be where I need to be, for my soul. And it's a big thing, right? Steve Harris. Love your rhymes that are great for these times. Steve, mate, you're a poet. Well, you probably already know it. G'day, David. David says, if we lose the dogma of religion, we may be more free than we are today. If we lose admiralty laws, we certainly will be free. Who has the answer? Only nature, in my view, at present. Just love, namaste. Yeah, look, I think, if I may respond to that, so there's principles, right, in religion, in all different religions. There's all these principles, and there's a lot of spiritual things in there and spiritual laws, and it all kind of has its place, yeah? Well, most of it. Even the stuff that is uncomfortable has a place in teaching us and how to grow and learn, right? And I'm led to believe there's a lot of really good philosophy in the Bible and things like that. And then going on to admiralty law. So people are always going to want to trade, right? They're always going to want to, you've got that and I've got this, and, well, you've got that and, I don't have anything that you want, but I want what you want and you want something from someone else, so we can trade, right? So contracts are, seem to be a fundamental part of the life that we live, right? I think the problem with it is the, I'm not going to say deception because all the information is there, but it's the lack of education. It's the lack of, the lack of education and the confusion and the amount of, let's say, definitions there are for one word. Like, if you had a language where one word had one meaning, right, and you had a legal system or a law system based on that, it takes away all ambiguity. And where the corruption really comes in is in the courts, right, where they are given the responsibility to interpret the law. The law should be unambiguous, right? There is no interpretations. There's none of these, all these principles and this and that. Like, this word means this. This sentence means this because this is what the words mean. You don't need a judge to interpret it and draw upon inferences and, and make assumptions and all that nonsense. This word means this. This sentence means this, right? It's really basic. One word, one meaning. Yep. Or for every single word in an act, you have the dictionary in that act. Yep. That defines every single word in there. One meaning. And that, it doesn't leave any room for corrupt judges to draw upon inferences. Right? It's just what it is. So if we want to continue living in some sort of system where we trade and do commerce and all that stuff, and, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah? We all want to do that because that's how we grow and evolve and, learn and trade and share and whatever. Right? Like me, I don't want to be in this place forever. I want to sell it, right, and go to the beach, yeah? But Spirit's like, oh, you can't really sell the place, but I want to, right? Because I want to be near the beach. So to do so, there needs to be some form of contracts, yeah? Unless someone's got that kind of money in gold or silver or cash, right? So I think just removing the ambiguity, removing the ability for judges and stuff to be able to make presumptions and draw upon inferences and be corrupted, right? When the words mean the words, you've got a jury sitting there, and it's like, right, did that person do this? Yep. Did you make an agreement? Yep. Did you fulfill the agreement? No. Okay. Well, you've got to fulfill the agreement, or you've got to hand the stuff back, right? Or, did this person hit that person? Yep. All right, it's done. Yep. Like, see, I read the law and the legal statutes and all that stuff, and you've got everyone out there going, oh, it's unlawful and it's illegal and all that. And I used to be the same, and I used to say the same. But when I look at it and I read it with my current understanding and comprehension of it, I look at it and go, well, actually, I don't know if it is unlawful. I don't know if it is illegal. In fact, everything they're doing out there appears to not even be in alignment with what the actual statute they're relying on says. Right? That's how it appears to me. So all the stuff that's going on isn't even in alignment with the acts they're relying upon to support their tyranny. It's incredible. But I can't put all that stuff together here because, trying to get things printed and charge your laptop and all that stuff it's just an ordeal, right? It takes so much time. And you've got to move your printer every time you want to use it and plug it into another battery and all this stuff. It's an ordeal that's draining. So I'm just not going to do it. Not here. Right? But yeah. Let's see what other comments we got here. Mum says being coupled is a natural way of life. Any woman thinking this is suppression needs to do some deep thinking, in her opinion. Exactly right. It's really not hard. Like, whenever people have a question about morality or things like that, like, just stop and think and just be like, right, how am I created? How am I set up? Because I know I'm not smarter than my creator. I didn't create myself, right? I may have chose to come into this body and whatnot, but there is something bigger than just me and my body that has organised this and put this together long before I came along, right? And it'll be here long after I'm gone. And it's pretty intelligent. If one considers themselves to be intelligent, they cannot deny the intelligence of creation because they are just an aspect of the creator or creation itself. So if one thinks they're intelligent, they can't deny the intelligence of the thing that created them, right? Good night, Paul. Thanks for tuning in, bro. See you next time. A bullseye there. Who is this? Matt says he's been on leave from work since July, avoiding the jab. Now today, New South Wales meant to open up and da. Yeah, all that stuff, man. Like, and so many people not dismissing your story. So many people have got the same story, man, the same story as you, and I don't have the answers, right? I was talking about it a couple of years ago and giving some solutions and answers like, hey, we just got to shut it down, all of us, stop this stuff, and then, reclaim our power, and then we can move forward. But now that people are sort of just reacting to what's going on and in these positions, I don't have answers for everybody. I don't know what to do. But what they're doing, right, so as you're seeing, Satan is trying to force you to take the mark of the beast, right? That's what it is. This is the mark of the beast. He's trying to get you to take the mark of the beast. And your spirit or something is guiding you and saying, no, I'm not taking that because, I'm not going down that path of the mark of the beast. And just as there is in life, as above, so below, right? As we are in life, we are in the afterlife. And, as there's darkness in life, there's also darkness in the afterlife. And the darkness in the afterlife is well beyond anything that anyone in this physical realm can even imagine or begin to imagine, right? And the light that is after this life is far beyond what most people could even begin to imagine or conceive. Again, right? Stay strong, brother. Yep. Stay in your faith, whatever it takes. If they close you out of the beast system, well, then it's time to leave that system, right? And if there's ever a time to leave that system, well, the time is now, yeah? The time is now. So I'm going to talk about the next one, or the one they're bringing out now. Found some really interesting information. It's kind of it's really interesting. So we'll see. I'll do a video on that shortly as well. Steve says we are created out of love by the Creator. That we are. And we're created out of death. A lot of the things that are here and growing today are growing because something else died before it. Something else gave up its life or its part of its journey, yeah, so that we can continue ours, yeah, whether it's the trees or the plants or the animals or whatever it is, yeah. And it's all part of it. It's all just part of the same one thing, right? But keep your spirit, yeah, keep your soul. Don't let them take that. Don't give in. Don't give them your soul. Don't give in to the mark of the beast. For God's sake, stay with us, right? Stay with us. And something that people can do, like right now, before things really crash, before the market really crashes, before the dollar crashes, like some things people can do now is, if you're in a position where you know that you're going to lose your job, or you know that you're not going to be able to make the repayments of your house, and you've got some equity in your home, you might want to, get with your community and, get 10 or 20 people all to sell them, to get rid of their mortgages, to take the equity from their homes, right, while the market's still good, and then, pool all your money in a group of 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 people and buy a massive block of land and then build your community, right? So you might only have, 50 grand or 20 grand or 100 grand or 200 grand or whatever it is in equity in your mortgage, right? And you might owe 500 or 700,000, which, if you're not abiding by the beast system, then they're going to shut you out of the system, right? So while you still got the opportunity and the foresight before it all collapses and stuff, you might want to, again, get together with your community and people in similar positions, right? You might start a Facebook group of people, with mortgages who are struggling or whatever, and just start a Facebook group, and you'll see how many people come to you. And then you get some of those people and you just sell them. And you go and buy your block and you start building your community. That's a proactive thing you can do. while you still have time, before you've lost your house, before it's been foreclosed on, and all this, that's just one proactive thing I guess you could do. So, I don't know. And if you're going to get somewhere near a surf beach, let me know. And no 5G, right? Whew, that's tough. We'll talk about that later. So, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching. Please share, and many blessings. And the reason this video is important to share is because we want to get rid of people's fear. Yep. Because it's the fear that's part of the trauma. Yep. The fear comes from a past trauma or a future idea, right? From not living in the present. So we've got to get people to break through the barrier of fear. And once we can get people to step through that hologram and just move through that hologram, then there's no more control system. There's no more control structure, because it's all controlled by fear, right? Fear and force. Yeah, Matt says his sister's got her own art going up north of Harvey Bay, and she's ready for it. Unfortunately, they're in Sydney, but they're going to keep fighting. I don't know if you want to keep fighting for that system. That's the beast system. It's not, unless you want to be part of that, and that's your choice too. But what are you fighting against, right? You're fighting against a system and people that are happy and content and will fight for their system the way it is. You might be better off going and joining your sister. Yep. Letting go of that stuff. I don't know. It's up to you. So that's it. Thanks, Saska. Thanks for watching. Please share. Many blessings and much love from me and Pharaoh and Jupiter and the chickens. And the spiders. I've got a few nice spiders up in the windowsills, catching all the flies and stuff. That's it. Thanks for watching from us. Many blessings.